Catch up for the afternoon. I'll begin with the roll call. Councilmember Allen, chair is here. Druffel, here. Glover, not here yet. Hurt, here. Mendez, not here yet. Pulley, Beck, how you feeling? Good. Roten, here. Ah, yeah. Sledge, not here yet. Swara, not here. Syracuse, present. Toombs is here somewhere. Van Reese, here. Bircher, not here. All right, at the moment we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is a quorum. We will begin with the consent agenda. Please let me know if any of these need to be pulled. On consent currently is RS 2022 1332, 1334, 1335, 1338, 1339, and 1341. Do any of those need to be pulled from the consent calendar? I'll read the captions, and if you change your mind, we can pull them then. Beginning with 1332. Sponsors Allen, Bradford, Gamble, and Hancock. This approves an in-kind grant from Greenways for Nashville to the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation to provide improvements to 7 trailheads on the Stones River Greenway and 3 trailheads on the Whites Creek Greenway. RS 2022-1334 sponsors Taylor, Allen, Bradford, and Stiles. This approves an in-kind grant from the Centennial Park Conservatory for the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation to fund the purchase and installation of flooring in the Parthenon's West Gallery and replace signage at the Parthenon's entrance. RS 22-1335 sponsors Taylor, Allen, Bradford, and Stiles. Approves a grant from the Centennial Park Conservancy to the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation to provide funding for 1 part-time position in the Parthenon Museum store. Next is item 1338. Sponsors Allen, authorizes Metro Department of Law to compromise and settle the property damage claim of Maureen Slade against Metro government in the amount of $25,806.71. And last item next to last item, RS 2022-1339. Sponsors Allen, authorizes the Metro Department of Law to compromise and settle the property damage claim of State Farm Insurance Subrogee of Jordan Ripplemeyer against Metro government in the amount of $26,791.08. And final item on consent, RS 2022-1341, sponsors Allen, Evans, Bradford, and Stiles. This approves a grant from the Friends of Metro Animal Care and Control to the Metro Board of Health to provide funding for families experiencing difficulty maintaining ownership of their pets and for emergency medical care for animal shelters. Do any of those need to be pulled from the consent agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion on the consent agenda? Second, all in favor? Any opposed? Consent agenda is recommended. And are we still at 8 or did we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in favor, 0 against. All right, now we'll go back to items not on consent. First is RS 2022-1328, sponsors Parker, Allen, Welsh, and Stiles. This approves an amendment to a grant contract for constructing affordable housing between the Metro Housing Trust Fund Commission and Affordable Housing Resources. Is there a second? Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I would, if we could get an explanation on why this is being reduced. Welcome. Glad to have you there. Okay.
The number of properties has been reduced, and therefore the value of the grant is being reduced.
And do we know why the number of properties was reduced?
I do not know that.
We do not know that. Is Mr. Latimer here?
And Ms. Welsh.
Councilmember Welsh?
Thank you, Chair, for recognizing me as I'm not on this committee. Mr. Latimer was in front of the Affordable Housing Committee, and what has happened is that the cost of building supplies has gone up so much that they can no longer build the number of units and make the AMI that reaches the Barnes Fund floor. So instead of holding on to the money, they decided to release it back to the Barnes Fund so that can be used to supplement other projects that are running into the same problem with increased construction costs.
Wow, okay. Thank you for that explanation. Any other discussion, questions? Councilmember Van Reese?
Yes.
Sorry, I was in that meeting as well, and so I just wanted to also indicate that the units will be built, just not at that AMI that qualifies. They found other sources of funding for that to happen, and so they're still completing the project. They're just mixing up the opportunities so that these funds can return to the Barnes Fund for other folks that might not have the opportunity for a different formula.
Thank you. That's helpful to know. I appreciate that explanation. Any other discussion on this? Councilmember Hurt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would need some clarification with the statement that Councilmember Van Rees just made. Does that mean that those individuals who, that this is going to be beyond the AMI, so they wouldn't qualify for the housing?
I'm not sure who to ask to answer that question. Councilmember Van Rees, do you want to clarify that?
I'm sure that you can reach out to Mr. Latimer to get that clarification.
And probably Ms. Davis as well.
Yeah, Ms. Davis.
Okay, thank you. Other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? I'm sorry. Okay, so that's 7 in favor, 1 abstention.
6 in favor, 1 abstention.
Okay,
6 in favor.
6. Thank you. Thank you for that. Next is RS 2022-1329, sponsors Allen Wells, Swara, Hertz, Hancock, and Stiles. This approve amendments to appropriate grant funds from the Tennessee Housing Development Agency to the Metro Action Commission for Low-Income Energy Assistance Program, known as LIHEAP, services targeted toward the elderly, disabled, veterans, and households with children under the age of 6 years. Do you have a motion? It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? We recommend 7 in favor, 0 against. Next is RS 2022-1330, sponsors Allen Welsh, Swara, Hurt, Hancock, and Stiles, approves an amendment to appropriate supplemental benefit grant funds from the Tennessee Housing Development Agency to the Metro Action Commission for LIHEAP services targeted toward the elderly, disabled, veterans, and households with children under the age of 6 years. This is a different location. Do I have a motion? It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? Comments? Seeing none. All those in favor? Any opposed? We recommend approval. 7 in favor, 0 against. Next is RS 2022-1331, sponsors Allen and Bradford. Approves a contract between Metro Government and US eDirect to provide a point-of-sale system, including any maintenance and upgrades for the Department of Parks and Recreation. Do I have a motion? Been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? We recommend approval. 7 in favor, 0 against. Next is RS 2022-1333, sponsors Taylor, Allen, Bradford, Hancock, and Stiles. This approves an in-kind grant from Creative Parks Nashville to the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation to fund the purchase and installation of a historical marker near the front of Centennial Arts Center, acknowledging the facility as a former swimming pool. Do I have a motion? It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I did want to ask if it would be, I would love to see what the language on that is going to be. Could someone from Parks provide that to us at some point? I see someone standing up, coming to the lectern.
Good afternoon, Shanita White, Metro Parks. I think this is it in the back. Hold on. Yeah, the text for a sign from the committee. Centennial Park Swimming Pool. Opened in 1932, the pool served Nashville's white community as a premier swimming facility for nearly 30 years. City officials abruptly closed the pool in 1961 after 2 African-American student civil rights activists, Kwame Leo Lillard and Matthew Walker Jr., led an effort to desegregate the facility. The city responded by closing all Nashville public pools, blaming the sweeping closure on budgetary concerns. And then it says it's a photo While many neighborhood pools eventually reopened in 1963 under the newly consolidated metropolitan government, this facility sat vacant for 10 years, to some a daily reminder of the city's racial divide. The pool's bathhouse was renovated and reopened as Centennial Arts Center on April 23, 1972. The former deep end of the pool is preserved as a sunken lawn in the rear portion of the building's courtyard.
Thank you. I think that's important history for us to be aware of and work hard to correct. So thank you for reading that. Any other questions or comments? Thank you so much. All those in favor? Any opposed? We recommend approval of this marker. Next is RS 2022-1336. Sponsors Allen approves a joint funding agreement with the United States Department of the Interior and the United States Geological Survey to acquire approximately 525 square miles of current LiDAR-derived high-resolution elevation data for Davidson County. Do I have a motion? Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? We recommend approval, 7 in favor, 0 against. Next is RS 2022-1337. Allen Evans Welsh Sawara and Stiles approves an assistance to firefighters grant from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to the Metro Nashville Fire Department to protect the health and safety of the public and first responder personnel against fire and fire-related hazards. Do I have a motion? Then moved and seconded. Any discussion? Questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, we recommend approval, 7 in favor, 0 against. Next is RS 2022-1340, sponsors Allen Evans and Stiles, approves an emergency management performance grant from the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency to the Metro Office of Emergency Management to subsidize the emergency management program. Do I have a motion? Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? We recommend approval, 7 in favor, 0 against. Next is RS 2022-1342, sponsors Allen Young, Toombs, Gamble, and Sawara, approves a flood mitigation assistance grant from the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency to the Metro Water and Sewage Services Department for flood mitigation. Do I have a motion? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I would like to ask if someone from Metro Water Services can just come address the cost of buying these houses now, and if it's it seems like they've gotten more expensive, and maybe that's just because everything has got more expensive, but if you can talk us through how those prices are set and also where this money's coming from, how it's funded.
Yep.
You're on.
Jim Snyder, Metro Water. And Chair, if you'd like, I can address the next 4 pieces of legislation.
Yes.
Because they're very similar. And I'll just kind of talk through those. First of all, each legislation 1342, that is 100% funded by FEMA. And the value of those homes is based on fair market value. Appraisals are done. And if those appraisals are not accepted, then the property owner can do an independent appraisal as well, and that's considered. Resolution 2022-1343, that is 75% paid by FEMA, 12.5% paid by TEMA, the state, and 12.5% by Metro. And that is exactly the same for 1344. And let's see here, last one, 1345 is a 90-10 split, 90% federally funded, 10%. And all these homes are on the repetitive loss list, and this money came available near the end of this past year. So we hurried around and got in line, and it looks like we're going to be getting that money, of course, if approved by the council. This is just a grant, and we'll bring this back before the council with the actual contracts.
Great. Okay, thank you for that explanation. That's just helpful to understand. Any other questions or comments? Appreciate that information very much. All those in favor? We're just voting on 1342. All those, or can we vote on them all at once?
So vote
No,
separately.
we are just voting on 1342. All those in favor? Any opposed? We recommend approval, 7 in favor, 0 against. Next is RS 2022-1343, hazard mitigation grant from TEMA to the Metro Water and Sewage Services for flood mitigation. Do I have a motion? Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? We recommend approval, 7 in favor, 0 against. Next is RS 2022-1344, sponsors Johnston, Allen, Young, and Swara. Approves a hazard mitigation grant from TEMA to the Metro Water and Sewer Department for flood mitigation. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Mr. Syracuse. It's been moved and seconded. All those, any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? We recommend approval, 8 in favor, 0 against. Councilmember Toombs, you are officially present. Next is RS 2022-1345, sponsors Hall, Allen, Young, and Swara. Approves a flood mitigation grant from the TEMA to the Metro Water and Sewer Service Department for flood mitigation. Do I have a motion? Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? We recommend approval, 8 in favor, 0 against. And that concludes the Budget Committee meeting. We are adjourned. Maybe we're caught up.